Christa Gail Pike, the youngest woman sentenced to death in modern U.S. history. Christa Gail Pike's case is one of the most disturbing and controversial in American true crime history. Convicted in 1996 for the brutal torture and murder of her classmate, Colleen Slemmer, Pike remains the only woman on Tennessee's death row and was the youngest woman sentenced to death in the U.S. during the post-Furman era. On January 12, 1995, 18-year-old Christa Pike, along with her boyfriend, Tadaryl Shipp, and friend, Shadola Peterson, lured 19-year-old Colleen Slemmer to a secluded area near the University of Tennessee campus in Knoxville. Pike believed Slemmer was trying to steal her boyfriend. Under the pretense of making peace, they offered Slemmer marijuana and led her to an abandoned steam plant. Once there, Slemmer was subjected to a horrific 30-minute assault. She was beaten, slashed with a box cutter, and had a pentagram carved into her chest, and ultimately had her skull crushed with a chunk of asphalt. Pike kept a piece of Slemmer's skull as a trophy and later showed it off to others. The trio was arrested within 36 hours. Pike confessed to the murder, claiming they only intended to scare Slemmer, but things escalated. The brutality of the crime shocked the nation. In March 1996, Pike was convicted of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. The jury found two aggravating factors. The murder was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, and was committed to avoid arrest. She was sentenced to death by electrocution and received an additional 25-year sentence for conspiracy. At 20, she became the youngest woman on death row in the U.S. Shipp, who was 17 at the time of the murder, received a life sentence with the possibility of parole plus 25 years. Peterson, who cooperated with authorities, was granted probation. Pike's legal journey has been complex. She initially waived her right to appeal in 2001, requesting execution, but later reversed that decision. Her appeals have focused on claims of ineffective counsel, mental illness, and the unconstitutionality of the death penalty. In 2023, her attorneys attempted to leverage the Tennessee Supreme Court's ruling in State v. Booker, which found mandatory life sentences for juveniles unconstitutional. They argued that Pike's young age and mental health issues should spare her from execution. However, the court denied the appeal, stating the ruling applied only to juveniles and Pike was legally an adult at the time of the crime. For nearly 30 years, Pike has been incarcerated at the Deborah K. Johnson Rehabilitation Center in Nashville. As the sole woman on Tennessee's death row, she spent most of her time in solitary confinement. In 2024, a court settlement ended her isolation, allowing her more interaction with others and access to work programs, aligning her conditions with those of male death row inmates. As of 2024, no execution date has been set for Pike. If carried out, she would be the first woman executed in Tennessee in nearly 200 years. Stick around for more. It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.